earlier, we spoke about playoff predictions. Let's get to ones that are like top of the list. First of all, two of us had the Raptors going on after round one, and one of us didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
What are you looking at me for? I don't know.
You know what? You know what? Honestly,
They barely got by. Barely.
No, of course, but the point is that the Raptors are the better team, or overall Miami and Pacers. But our defense is what helped us win those games, and of course DeRozan and Kyle Lowry playing good offense. But anyways, Raptors made it to the finals now, conference finals. But I know everyone's talking about other things, so we'll talk about it later on. But I know you predicted the Hawks has improved as a team.
Didn't really fall through. So.
Against Cleveland. So what happened? Like, you're a Hawks fan, so what do you think didn't click for them? Because, they did improve this season. So what do you think? Like, was it just Cleveland just clicking on all cylinders, or the Hawks just not prepared?
Actually, before we ask him about the Hawks, I got a question.
Okay.
The Hawks, what's their record against Cleveland?
This season?
Ever.
1-11 or something like that?
No, I think it might be a goose egg one from what I see.
Yeah, 0-11.
Oh,
and
11.
11. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 1 and 11.
0-12. Maybe.
Okay, I think even more.
Yeah. Okay, don't get on your high horse, all right?
Hey.
The Raptors haven't done
I'm
anything
riding.
in the last 15 years. This is what I can't stand.
No.
Before we get to the Raptors,
Oh
before
my
we get to
God,
Raptors,
here we
before we
go.
get to Raptors, just own up to the fact that your Hawks got swept.
Okay, but the Raptors aren't a better team than the Hawks.
We're not talking about the Raptors yet.
Okay.
We're talking about the Hawks.
Right, but
And
I'm saying
they got hold on.
Say this was the Raptors. Say the Raptors finished in the Hawks position in fourth. They'd be out in the second round too. They just got.
Now we're talking hypothetical.
Okay.
Well, no, but I'm
let's-
saying like.
I'm
the Hawks,
talking factual. The Hawks got swept.
Right, and the Raptors will be getting swept very shortly.
I don't think. Well, the Raptors won 2 games against Cleveland this year. In the regular season.
Yeah.
I'm just
But-
saying the Hawks have never beaten them in a game ever. They've beaten them
In the
twice.
playoffs they haven't, but in regular season they have. I mean that's not a big deal.
They beat
Alright.
them in the regular season?
Yeah, the
Okay.
0-11 I'm talking about is strictly the
Just
playoffs.
playoffs. Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Don't worry. The
Okay.
Raptors are getting swept.
But you know
Okay.
what?
No way that
You said we're getting swept in the first round and second
I
round.
never. I said the Pacers in 5, but
You
Yeah.
said exactly.
And the
No,
Pacers
the
still
whole
almost won the
idea.
series.
I think the whole idea is that we're not trying to bash the Hawks. I'm just wondering, a team that was swept last year, how do you get swept 2 years in a row? That's my concern. If I'm a Hawks player or a Hawks coach, how do you get swept 2 years by the same team? Like,
Wasn't this? This team's much better. So
yeah.
the Cleveland team, I mean, is better.
Okay.
all right.
Anyways, the Hawks are in
So
9
Eastern
straight years in the
Conference, any other
postseason.
teams that I think that we
We're
predicted?
consistent. The Raptors will probably be out of the playoffs by give them another year or two. They'll be gone.
Well, you give another prediction, so let's see
Yeah, I'll
in the
give another
future.
prediction. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm just full of predictions. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay.
All
2
right,
years
so-
from now, the Raptors will not be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
All right. So fast forward now, where we're at with the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals.
Well, I think we should recap the Western Conference Finals because none of us thought the Spurs would have lost.
Right.
I don't think any of us thought that
Right,
would happen.
right.
And for them to lose against OKC, do you think Westbrook and Durant had finally figured out their issue? In terms of not giving up big leads, being able to focus on winning quarters. Do you think, because, that was their biggest thing, right? Westbrook being very impulsive, taking whack shots.
Yeah.
Durant and them arguing off the court, getting emotional. I mean, they're an emotional team, but
Yeah.
do you think by them beating a mature Spurs team like they did in 6 games,
Wow.
do you think that
No.
they've changed, or it's just a lucky?
They got lucky.
You think I got lucky?
Yeah.
Well, I would
I
say
think-
Look
I think-
at game
okay.
one. Game one, Aldridge and they were lights out.
Right.
But I don't know, Aldridge, he went cold after game 3 or 4. Right? He just went frozen cold. And Tim Duncan showed his age.
Yes.
Parker showed his age.
I don't think that's luck if those things that you're saying, which I agree with. Those
Well,
are
no, I
things-
mean they got lucky as in Aldridge actually struggled,
But
which
keep in
Aldridge
mind-
doesn't usually do.
keep in mind the refs also dictated 2 of those endings, but should have not have gone their way. Because when Ginobili got pushed off like by the
Yeah,
ball in
yeah,
his
yeah.
chest, and there was
Yeah.
no call. Like
Yeah.
the refs had a big factor in the outcome of the games. And you know, I'm not saying conspiracy, but I tweeted the other day like, is this conspiracy? Because 2 games were decided by the refs' calls, and they should have gone to the Spurs. So
OKC and Toronto are very similar right now
why'd you say that?
because now it justifies keeping Kevin Durant in OKC because now they're back in the West Finals, and now it justifies keeping DeRozan because they're in the East Finals. Which Durant might not be as big a mistake as keeping DeRozan because if you throw $25 million at him, they're toast. Durant is actually a superstar,
Yeah,
True.
he is.
so it's not as bad with him. But I mean, they're in the same boat. They're not good enough to win a title, but they'll probably make a couple appearances here and there in these finals. But they'll never get over that hump.
Do you think a team can actually afford Durant and DeRozan right now? Get them both on one team?
2 of them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Unless you're Miami, you should throw money around with LA.
Do you want? Oh,
Well, do you want both of them on a team?
that's what I'm thinking. Do you? Okay. Well, DeMar right now, he's playing well, or he's not even playing well. I think he's having his moments. Lowry's holding us down.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think DeMar, he's not. He hasn't really changed.
Is he disposable?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
I look at C.J. McCollum, and I see someone with less experience, and I see in a playoff situation someone who's more confident in like late shot clock situations and late game situations. I wish DeRozan had that kind of confidence that someone like McCollum had.
Yeah.
And I think DeRozan overthinks a lot. Like yesterday, Kyle was saying he spoke to DeRozan and said, "Hey, let's just have fun. Let's have fun. Forget about, you know." 'Cause I think DeMar is in his head more times, and it just tells you an athlete can be a great player, but if his mental game isn't strong,
Right.
in the playoffs you will die. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like Lillard, this guy had more heart than anyone on that team, and he carried
Right.
that team on his back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it shows you like people like that, they can change a team outcome.
Let's give Portland a big clap for what they did.
Absolutely.
Clearly.
They were amazing. I think Portland could have beat Raptors actually if we played them.
Probably.
I think they could have beat us in 7 games because they're that good of a team. Like they have heart, right? And Raptors, I think with like, I think we're getting more heart as we play. Carroll's a great addition. Like Biz, those guys have heart. You can tell they have pride. But DeMar, I don't think he has the killer instinct.
Yeah. I don't doubt
That's
his
it.
heart. I don't doubt
No,
his heart at all.
I agree. I think
he's
he
got
means
heart.
well.
I just don't think
He's not
has
good
a-
enough to have a killer instinct.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
And I think against a team like the Cavs, you know, Eastern Conference Finals, you know, Raptors, they're not good. If they win, it's because of a lucky start. Like it's impossible. Like pigs are flying if they win. You know what I mean? Like I can't see the Raptors winning. I mean, people are saying, oh, they're gonna win in 5 games, 6 games, or 7 games.
The Raptors are going to win?
When you say they, you mean they
So
is in
people-
Cleveland
so
or?
I've heard both. People, I've heard
Yeah, of course.
people
You're-
saying, we know how it is. Like
You're
a
blind.
fan's a fan, right? So people
Yeah.
that I respect you saying you want your team to win, Raptors, you know, kudos. But I think 90% of the NBA and fans in basketball do not see Raptors winning.
Right, which is fair.
unfortunately. Which is fair. I mean,
fair.
Cleveland is. I mean, they're rested for what, since May 5th?
Yeah.
Like they haven't played a game since what?
Wow, we said for forever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
been sweet.
You think
We'll
it's a
see.
sweep? I don't
We'll
think.
see.
I don't think
We'll
it'll be a
Okay,
sweep.
I don't think the Raptors are going to win the first 2 in Cleveland. They're going to lose for sure. So
Okay. How about Western Conference? Do you guys think OKC can?
Westbrook and Durant have to play 44 minutes a game at least.
Doable. They have. That's the end of the
Every
season.
game. But I don't know if coaches will do that. But they have to. They have no choice or they're done too.
I think Westbrook and Steph Curry is going to be a good matchup, and I think Westbrook, he's got a huge chip on his shoulder, and seeing that this is the league MVP, he's not going to shy away from going right at Curry. I think that's kind of like an understated matchup that could really propel Westbrook to like that next level. You know what I mean? He's already there. But I mean, like, it's like you had Curry and you had Lillard. And the two of them, that was like a nice but Curry clearly showed, especially being out most of the series, came back late in the series and showed why he's the MVP with that overtime performance. I think I'm watching Westbrook and Curry, and I just want to see what's going to, because that's going to be fireworks right there.
Well, he's guarding Curry, right? And Westbrook today, when they asked him about his thoughts on the game, he's just like, I mean, I've seen it before.
Right.
Like, he's aware that Curry can score 3-pointers beyond the arc, right? And he dropped 12 threes, I think, on the last game. And dropped 45 points, I think. Like, Curry's been, like...
OKC has zero bench. That's the problem. And then
So-
zero bench.
So Westbrook cannot stop Curry. That's just... It's not going to happen.
But then I don't think Curry could stop Westbrook, though. In some,
I agree. But I think, like, Curry can contain him. So like, he's going to go off for, like, 45 points.
You think so?
I think, like...
He's got his ankle thing, too, right? And his leg. I don't know. I think Westbrook will...
Yeah, I get
With
it.
a hurt Curry?
I think Westbrook, like, his strength is assist and creating plays. And I think he'll do that for his team. He'll create plays and create movements. Him scoring isn't as, like, important as him creating offensive plays. And I think that's a strength because he'll get, like, 12 assists in, like, 10 minutes or something like that. He's crazy like that. So, but I think Curry, I mean, the daggers on Golden State, I just don't, like, offensively, like, OKC can get swept. Literally. They could get swept in the series. They could. Like...
We'll see.
They could, like, I mean...
I don't know if it's because I'm hoping, because honestly I am hoping OKC wins. I don't know if that's the reason why, but I kind of envision something, a tighter series than, for instance, on the Eastern Conference with the Raptors and Cleveland.
I don't know.
You think...
Like...
I can't see OKC getting swept. I just can't see that. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but...
I agree. But all I'm saying, though, is that, like, Golden State, I just don't... Like, who can OKC stop on Golden State right now? Defensively.
Yeah, but Portland won a game, too.
Portland won a game. I'm at Portland...
I think OKC could win one
But,
at least.
but okay, so... But they won because they were shooting, like, how much threes that game? They were going off.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game. Like, they were just dashed... Like, it was nonstop. Right? And one game, they were up by 20, and then the last quarter, Clay just went off. Like, the problem with Golden State is that these guys have daggers, right?
Yeah. OKC, it's not like they just have Westbrook. We've only been talking about Westbrook. They have KD.
No, I know.
Like,
KD cannot be stopped.
Okay.
That's a factor. KD and Curry are like factors that you can't stop, so
Right.
X goes out.
Right.
Who else is left?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Right? Clay, Draymond, like, to me, like, I think Golden State just has more...
They're more deep. I agree.
way more deep.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm
only
saying, like,
reason.
I agree.
Grant and
That's the only
Westbrook
reason
have to
why.
Played 44 minutes.
Like, OKC's a great team. Guys, like, they beat the Spurs. That's
Yeah.
amazing, right? They're a great team, and I hope that they make this competitive.
Right.
But I will not be shocked if they got swept. If they got swept, I will not be like, oh my God, they got
Are you
swept.
serious?
I
Wow.
wouldn't be shocked. I'm sorry. I wouldn't
No,
be
that's
shocked.
cool. That's
Because OKC can be up by 15, and then if Clay gets into a streak, the last 5 minutes, that's it. Game done. Like, it's happened before. We've seen it happen many times. I've seen Golden State down by points, and then I wake up and go, they won? How?
My jaw will hit the floor if they get swept. I do not see a
Really?
sweep. I
hope not. I hope not. Like, I think I'm hoping OKC has learned a lot from the Spurs like series, and I think their confidence has been boosted. I think beating that team has created a different mentality, and I do hope it's competitive. But
Yeah.
how about you, Jay? What do you think?
Golden State in 6.
In 6, yeah.
But I want OKC to win.
Yeah, fair enough.
To play
Yeah,
Cleveland again.
I'm indifferent actually.
I want OKC
I
to
was
win.
sick of the same team over. I don't even want Cleveland in the finals. I just want to.
No,
I
actually,
want
so
more parity in the NBA. this year, man.
I know.
I want OKC to win, but if Golden State does move on, I'm not gonna be upset because I would really like to see a rematch.
With a healthy Cleveland against.
That
would be good. I
that
think.
But like I said, before I even go there, I gotta hope obviously that the Raptors can do it, and
Yeah.
if they can't, I'd love to see Cleveland and Golden State.
Yeah, I agree. I think if OKC can win, that'd be amazing because I'm with Jay here. Like, seeing the same team over and over again is kind of... But, I mean, they're the best record ever in the history of NBA. They're the best basketball team ever in the NBA at this moment. So for OKC to beat them, it's going to take a lot. That's all.
Record.
Anyways, moving on. The Blue Jays.
Okay.
The almighty... We won the division last year, Blue Jays. Now, the under 500 Blue Jays... halfway through May. So while the Raptors were out winning a second round series, nobody really paid attention. But I didn't even know until like later on yesterday night, like 4 hours after the game, that Mr. Bautista got socked in the face by Rangers second baseman Rougned Odor after a crazy slide into second, which clearly there was intent to take him out.
Of course.
Hurt him.
I agree.
Yes,
If
I
you
agree.
watched a play that,
Of course.
but Bautista, and this is my issue, he should know that he was going to get hit by a pitch the minute he flipped his bat last year. He should have known something was going to happen next time these guys play.
Right.
Whether it was game 1 of this series this past weekend or game 4,
Right.
there was going to be a message sent.
I agree.
Okay, but the
And
pitcher.
Bautista needs to. He was a nobody before Toronto. He's really getting on my nerves now. I mean, the bat flip, I hated it because you hit a home run, big deal. You've hit 300 home runs before that. You hit 52 seasons before, and yeah, you hit one to win the first round of the playoffs.
Disclaimer: you're not a Jays fan, though.
I'm
Exactly.
Continue. Sorry,
I'm not a
continue.
Jays fan.
So continue.
I'm an Atlanta Braves
yeah.
fan.
Yeah,
It's
that's
horrible.
fine.
Continue.
Yeah, that's
Horrible.
fine. Yeah.
I'm saying this as you should act like you belong there and not just go and start flipping your bat and shooting your mouth off and this and that and this and that and then not expect to get hit in where he got hit like in the midsection area,
Yeah,
which is fine.
in the side, yeah.
If the guy threw at his head, Matt Bush, the
Right.
pitcher, if he threw at his head, that's a different story. Then you can slide into whoever the heck you want.
Right.
But he threw a pitch. I'm sure people are going to be like, "Oh, Matt Bush didn't mean it." He clearly, come
No,
on.
he
Right,
meant
he
it.
did.
I'm sure the coach said,
Okay,
"Hey,
but-
throw one at him."
But my concern, Jay, with Matt Bush is that where was he last year?
He was in jail.
So why, like, okay, the bat flip wasn't against him. So why did he have to throw that pitch like that? Number one. Number two, why did it wait until the 8th inning for that?
Well, it was a close game.
No, but it doesn't matter. But why, if they want revenge on Bautista, why do it then? Why not do it in the first inning?
Well, because
When he first
think about
batted.
who. I don't remember who started that game yesterday. But I think was it Cole Hamels? I can't remember who started that game yesterday, but it wasn't Matt Bush.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
And Matt Bush doesn't have any history with Bautista.
Yes.
So that's the perfect guy to throw out there to throw at him.
So-
because there's no history. If it was Cole Hamels, or if it was Sam Dyson, or if it was, well, not Darvish because he didn't play last year, but anybody that was in the lineup or rotation last year that threw at him, he would know right away, okay, now they're getting at me for sure.
Okay, so then you can't blame Bautista. Okay, first of all, they're both at fault. Bautista and Odor, all of them are at fault. What I'm trying to say though is that they began the instigation by throwing that pitch at him because it was
No.
planned.
Bautista began the instigation because of the bat flip last
But
year.
okay, but keep in mind though, like as a Toronto Blue Jays fan, I thought it was an awesome bat flip because it was an emotional moment in the game. So people who aren't Jays fans, I understand why you may think why but as a Jays fan, I don't know any Jays fan that was like I can't believe he did that. Yeah. It was an emotional. He didn't plant. It was an emotional bat flip. It wasn't like he was trying to insult anyone. He was just so happy that he hit the ball.
You got to see the replay on that. Come on.
No, but I'm saying though, like
Did you see you saw the bat flip, right?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. I was watching the game live. All I'm saying is that it was an emotional reaction
Oh,
to
yeah.
his
It was
bat.
emotional.
So I don't think he was trying to be rude intentionally. It was an emotional moment. I know they had history of issues throughout the game. I know they had issues throughout the game, him and the pitcher. But all I'm saying, though, was an emotional moment. However, though, back to the slide, yes, Bautista started the slide. Odor has a history of fighting, right? Like I think
No.
he's-
See, that's the thing. People think he has a history because he did something in the minors.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
minors. That's a whole different ball league.
So
He hasn't fought anybody in the majors yet.
no one at all?
No.
Okay.
He's had issues in the minors. I looked it up. He had
Okay,
issues
he
in the
had,
minors.
okay, so his issues of aggression, I should say. But I think for me, like, I watched that like 10 times today. And I was just like, I think entertained, but also like, wow, I can't believe this is a baseball game. Like, a baseball game and this is a brawl. Pilar almost like went crazy.
Well,
Prez, go. I got more to say on this topic. We might be here for a couple minutes.
yeah. Okay. So it's two kind of separate things. They're all kind of connected. Bautista getting hit by the pitch, that is in retaliation from last year's bat flip. I understand that. He went to first base. The slide that he did going into second base was totally like way out of bounds.
Of course.
Like,
Yeah.
so him getting punched in his face,
He deserved it.
he did deserve it.
He deserved it. 100%.
I
You're
agree.
like, he deserved it.
I'm
No.
glad he deserved it.
110%.
Glad he got
You know, and this is not even his first time. Okay, so this new rule with the sliding into second base. This is not even his first time that he's an offender of this, Bautista.
So remember the first game of the season?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The
Like,
first
he
game of
knows the
season.
rule.
So he knows, and especially the time it happened at the beginning of the season, that's at a pivotal time where that was like last out of the game and or very late where it made a decision on what happened with the game at the time. You figure he totally deserved it, the fact that he would actually go into second base knowing that he's a pass offender for that same offense. And the slide was totally reckless.
Yeah, it was a reckless slide. No need.
That's like he could end the guy's career by doing that.
Yeah, he
you get a
could've.
fastball to the arm or to the. You take a lot of those. I mean, you're
Yeah.
an MLB player. You're used to
Right.
getting hit once in a while. Okay,
Right,
It's
right.
not like they hit Batista before.
Right.
Nobody's hit him before on Texas, especially.
Yeah.
I'm sure other teams have, like Baltimore hits him every once in a while.
Yeah.
But you're trying to take a man's leg out. You could break his leg and ruin
You
his
can.
career.
You
So
really
Odor,
can.
I was like, knock him out. Like,
Right.
knock him out. And the next week, I don't care if he's out with a concussion for the next 2 weeks. He deserves it.
You
This
totally.
Jose Bautista, and this goes back to when you were saying about the bat flip and stuff.
Yeah.
He was as emotional and as glorious as people will see it. He hit the home run,
Yeah.
stared at Sam Dyson,
Oh,
Okay,
that-
okay.
stared at him, and looked at him and said, basically, "Don't throw me that nonsense because I'll take it." And then flipped his bat like this.
Okay.
So I mean, to say it was emotional, yes, but again,
But
he
that was all
stared.
emotional. That was all
But
emotional.
you don't stare at the pitcher regardless. Like, I mean, you don't stare at him like this, like dead in his eyes. Like, what are you doing? Sam Dyson has no history, but he never did anything to him before. Now, if you go on YouTube, and this is for people that are listening, if you go on YouTube, you can actually see Bautista have issues with certain pitchers.
Yes.
Darren O'Day of Baltimore, he's thrown at Bautista like 6 or 7 times, and then every time Bautista takes him for a home run the next at bat or something like that. You can see there's a revenge video on it. But Sam Dyson is not in any of those.
No. No.
And the flipping the bat, yeah, you won the first round of the playoffs. But what does it mean at the end of the day? And then I go on the TTC and I see a big ad in the subway. Oh, well, read this in it was like the Star wrote some big magazine about how the Jays had such a magical season, and I'm
But
like,
keep in mind, they haven't had that kind of season in how long though?
but they've won 2 World Series.
I know that. I'm
So
just
the
saying
president should be, we should be in the playoffs every year. We should be at least competing for
I
a
think
World
every
Series.
team wants that. But all I'm saying though, for a city that hasn't have any wins in playoffs, Blue Jays lost. I mean, Raptors lost last year. We got swept, right? It's like it's a city that hasn't have a team win a playoff series in a while, right? So keep in mind that's why people were so happy. Like, I think out of context, I can see why people were so happy with the first round series. Like, it makes sense.
I agree, 100%. But this
But-
is Toronto. This is the 3rd biggest city in North America. There should be no excuses for the Leafs not to make the playoffs.
Of course. Oh yeah, that's I
consistently.
agree.
There should be no excuse for the Jays not to make the playoffs consistently. There should be no excuse for the Raptors not to make the playoffs every couple of years. Now they're doing it finally. And then there's no excuse for, who am I missing? Jays.
TFC.
Well, TFC, they just started. But, I mean, they're
Yeah.
they're
Well, they're
probably
10,
on their
10
way.
years deep in the league, and they just hit their first playoff last year.
Last year.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
look
Yeah.
like they're going to be a consistent. With Giovinco, I mean, that guy's taking over the league.
Yeah.
So.
But there's some good points, guys. I mean, Batista has been the punch. I mean, I wasn't like, and I'm a big fan of the Jays, and I wasn't like, oh my gosh, he punched Batista. He deserved it. I was not like, why would he punch him? But it's funny today, Texas radio, they have a Batista get well soon Jose card,
Yeah.
and they're making a get well soon card for Batista. They
Yeah.
mail it up here. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
well, when he got punched, he got held up though. Like
Yo.
he
Well,
was.
by Beltre. Beltre came from-
totally.
Well, no, but that was after. Like,
No, but
no, he got punched.
Beltre pushed him, or no, Odor
No,
pushed him.
right, push.
And then Bautista sort of tried to swing,
Well,
and
yeah.
Odor got him right in the jaw,
Yeah,
and then
clocked
knocked
him.
out, and then
Clocked.
But-
Beltre
and-
came
And
from
he's
behind
holding
and
him up, like
Well,
literally,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if for
But
instance,
Donaldson and Pilar ran in, and then you saw them.
But
if Beltre
honestly-
wasn't there, he
Well, they're boys, so I mean.
didn't want to go back for more. I think Bautista
No,
was
no.
totally shocked. I
Of
think he
course
was
he
just
was
like, did I
shocked.
just get punched in my face?
Yeah, but
And-
the fact that like he didn't crumble on his knees. I mean,
True.
most guys would have been like, they would
True.
have fell on their back.
True, but Odor is he's a smaller guy, right? Batista's a
But that
bigger
punch
guy.
looks strong, bro.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
It was like that was a good like a wind up,
I
yo.
think I know who Floyd wants for his 50th fight.
Odor.
Odor.
He wants to tour.
He's 49.
Yo, this Floyd guy is so funny to me. He fully said today that I am not fighting anyone but McGregor.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing.
Well, you know that's about money. That's
No, but he said it's more
Pure
than money.
money.
He said it's more than money. He said that
What's-
like
what's
he's
that? But what-
his reasoning is that there's no one interesting in the world of fighting or boxing other than McGregor.
He's
No.
lying
And
to
McGregor
himself.
was found today with boxing gloves, guys.
Yeah, well, okay.
practicing.
Oh yeah, I saw
Okay.
the video. And
Yeah.
then he wrote like a tweet. It's like, I run boxing.
Okay.
So guys,
so-
honestly, you know, come on, guys, you know what's gonna happen.
I'm rolling.
And Mayweather's actually looking at venues as we speak for this fight. Okay, Mayweather, what he wants, he gets. The man,
Yeah.
listen, he pays one grand for a haircut weekly.
Yeah.
I thought this guy's loaded.
Okay, so
I think it might happen.
he's turning. Okay, well, turning boxing into like a sideshow. It's like a circus show right now. Like him fighting McGregor, I don't even take that seriously. You know what he should do is fight a contender, like a young guy coming up. All great boxers, Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, like any great boxer, and they're late in their career. If you look at their record, within the last 5 or 6 fights, actually I would even go look, maybe 3 or 4 fights, it's losses. Reason why is because naturally, as you get older, you fight someone who's younger, you're gonna take a loss. Thing is, past legends before didn't run away from the chance of fighting the up and comers. Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, these young guys coming up, he's dodging them. He won't fight Keith Thurman. He won't fight Sean Porter. He won't fight Errol Spence Jr. He won't fight. There's a long list of boxers in his weight class that if you put him in the ring, Terrence Crawford. There's young guys out there that if you put him in the ring right now, Floyd knows better to step in with these young guys.
38
Love
years
call
old.
out.
So
Love
I
call
mean,
out.
it's much better for him to say, you know what, I'll fight an elder Manny Pacquiao, or I'll
But
fight.
that's the fight that'll make him the most money.
I'm for that fight. This McGregor fight, first of all, that means
joke.
if he fights his 50 fight with Floyd, that means McGregor has literally leapfrogged over all these young boxers
It's
who are
true.
coming up.
It's
They put
true.
in their work, put in their dues,
I agree.
and they get a chance at the
Nobody's
champion.
gonna care about Mayweather if he doesn't fight Pacquiao. It's really that simple.
And I'm with you. I think he should fight Pacquiao. If anything,
I think
this
so.
McGregor thing, it's just a joke. It's
But you know what? Like, guys, he's actually serious about this. And I think, first of all, I don't know why an MMA fighter want to fight a boxer. Like, it's two
Well-
different types of styles of fighting, right?
so putting
It's
my
very different.
true, but I'm putting my thoughts aside and saying, okay, you know what? From a money standpoint, that would be mega.
Of
'Cause
course, we're all watching that fight. Everybody.
not just boxing. Well, I think honestly, there's more UFC fans than boxing fans present day right now. I'd probably say UFC is, I think,
That's a good
global
point.
to a different level. I think everyone who follows UFC is, if they actually, I'll go with this. I honestly think more people will tune in and watch McGregor and Floyd fight than tune in to watch Pacquiao and Floyd fight.
Absolutely.
Real talks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
No, you don't. Hold
I
on. You don't think the UFC community, the way they'll build this up is like UFC, boxing? I honestly think there's more
Yeah,
people.
yeah, the marketing will go off
would
the
be-
chain.
come
Yo,
on.
listen.
For his
pay-per-view-
50th,
Because you know that's
hold
going
on,
to be
his
Pay-per-view will be
50th win. Like,
retarded.
nobody wants to watch
a 50th fight.
Conor McGregor is not going to beat Floyd Mayweather.
But
in
you,
boxing.
okay, hold on. You never.
That's people donating money to the pay-per-view, man. Like,
It's entertainment though. It's a moment in history. Floyd's 50th
do you want to
fight.
pay $100 to watch something on TV that's going to last 2 rounds?
But the point is, people
Do you
will pay
know
for
though?
it.
Do you know that though? Like
People
honestly,
pay
do
for
you
that.
can you say that McGregor will only last 2 rounds with Floyd Mayweather?
Okay.
You can't
3.
say that. You don't know. How long would Pacquiao? Like they went to distance, but do you know when the Pacquiao fight? Did you know that it was going to go to distance? It could have went either way. That's like
But you knew
Fight-
it was going to be a long fight. They're both great fighters.
not well. No.
Conor McGregor is not a boxer.
The majority of his fights that he wins though are okay. There's two. There's grappling on the ground and there's fighting on your feet in
know what'd be
boxing style.
funny?
Well, go ahead.
If McGregor just grabbed him and like grappled him.
That'd
That'd be
the
funny. I'd
best.
be like, okay, let's
He'd be
watch
like, yo,
that. That's
bun
the-
this,
now we're
bun
gonna-
this.
Forget this boxing. I'm just gonna grab you by the head, choke you out, and I'm gonna win this fight. Now you're 49 and
Oh my
1.
goodness.
I want to talk about the Toronto Wolfpack. So this is officially North America's first transatlantic team.
Okay.
For what sport?
Rugby.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. No, hear this.
Okay.
So, as you know, rugby, okay, we're in North America where rugby has this niche following, but it's not one of the big four or even on anyone's radar. In Europe, Australia, it's, Africa, like South Africa, it's it's a main sport.
Yes.
And this is the first sport of any sport, and this is actually historic what's happening. The Toronto Wolfpack are actually incorporated into a league in England. I think it's the second tier of the...
It was third tier of the professional
Third
rugby
tier.
league. Yeah.
There you go. So, the biggest incorporating, having a league where you have North America and Europe in a league together, not like a one-off situation. The hardest thing is logistics. Like, for instance, like, how do you...
Fly over to Europe.
Yeah, like, and just coordinating between...
Home games, like away games.
Yeah. So what they're doing, which is actually kind of cool, 4 home games are going to be here in North America with the Toronto team, and then they're going to go over for a next set of 4 where they play like a team from Wales, I think, France. So it's a legitimate league, and they're actually incorporating rugby on both sides of the ocean. Where it gets interesting is it made me think of the NFL. The NFL is forever just dying to try and expand.
Yeah, but they had
the game.
NFL Europe, didn't they?
They did in the fold, but there's a difference though, because NFL Europe was just
Its own league.
its own
Own
league
league, but
of players that really were their CFL. That's not it. Sorry, I don't want to throw shots, but CFL caliber where they weren't
You
good
can throw
enough to
shots
play.
at the CFL. That league sucks.
I'm just saying.
You don't suck, but
They weren't good enough to play in the NFL. That played in Europe, NFL Europe. The difference is now, this is like a testing ground with this rugby to see how they can do logistically to make it work. It actually makes it more realistic now to think that the NFL, over however amount of years, could possibly have a team over in London, because there's only 16 games to work it out amongst 16 games, and you don't even play every team in the league. So you can strategically say, okay, put out your list of teams and work out logistically who's gonna come over, who's gonna come. It makes it doable. So what's happening in Toronto right now with this rugby league, I think it's not just a local Toronto thing. I think all sports are actually going to keep their eye in regards to, well, what's going on and how are they making this work and how can we apply this to our sport.
Yeah, and I think NFL would be a good candidate because they play once a week. So they have a whole week
Exactly.
to fly over there, get acquainted with like the area, everything, the latitude, get used to everything, and get climatized. So yeah, like the NFL, if they had maybe 1 or 2 teams, it could work. Only 1 or 2 teams, and like that team is probably going to be. I mean, I think Canada should get a team, NFL team. That's Canada, but
Then you
I know it's
got to
different.
abandon the CFL.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think it's different. If you
I
go
would.
to Europe,
Who cares?
there's no competition for.
I would get all the best players in the CFL and put them on the team as a start. You could try that. They'd probably get killed every game. But speaking of the NFL, I want to bring up one topic. Our Philadelphia Eagles had a very interesting week. They drafted number 2 overall, Carson Wentz, who, I was speaking with Prez about this, didn't even play in the top tier of NCAA football. There's the College Bowl series, and then there's the FCS, the Football Championship Series, which is like the teams that are like not eligible for the Rose Bowl, this bowl, that bowl, the national championship, whatever. And Sam Bradford, I think we all know, came out and said, oh yeah, you're going to draft this guy. Okay, I want out. After just signing a 2-year, $28 million deal. And then Carson Wentz gets signed a couple days ago for 4 years at $26 million. And now Bradford's like, oh no, I want to stay. So any thoughts from anybody?
Bradford, like, who's his agent? Why is he even talking right now? He spoke too soon.
Yeah.
And I think after how he performed last year, the fact that he has audacity to talk, anyways.
Does he feel threatened by Wentz, you think?
He should.
Well, yeah, you should, but I mean, you're Sam Bradley. He's not a bad QB.
He's not bad.
He's been in the NFL for 6-7 years now. Yeah. If you're feeling threatened by a rookie, then you shouldn't have a job in the NFL, period.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be in the NFL. He should be gone.
Exactly.
So,
I'm thinking about like Peyton Manning when they drafted Luck, and like Peyton Manning was still on, like he wasn't done with the Colts, but like I don't know. I just feel like you can't overstep and say things without thinking first. And for him to comment about Wentz and be like, "Oh, I want out," that's just childish. That's childish.
Prez?
Bradford, I really don't rate Bradford. I never really have. And I mean,
In fantasy, I'll never pick him up ever, for no reason. Bradford will always be free agency.
Yeah,
Always
and
free
honestly, I don't know anything about the young rookie QB that's coming. Nothing about him. So
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, you know nothing about him, and think about this guy's already threatening Bradford for a starting position.
yeah.
Like, I think this guy's career is pretty much almost, if not over.
Bradford, he's ready.
He's on his way out the door.
I honestly think he is a backup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, if he's a backup, the Eagles have bigger problems to
Yeah.
fix.
So, what's your thoughts on having 2 unanimous votes for not only the Rookie of the Year but MVP? Like, do you think, like, I'm surprised no one even voted for LeBron, not one vote. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And the fact that, like, there's so many great players in the NBA and everyone voted for Curry, every single person, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then Curry, didn't LeBron say something, and Curry's like, oh, I'm good at ignoring people now? Or something?
Well, people are speculating that LeBron can't stand the fact that Curry's getting all this praises and MVP, and like, you know,
boo.
LeBron's doing a lot for his team without. I mean, you know how it is. Like, it's kind of putting words in his mouth. But of course, like, if you're LeBron, you have to be hating on Curry. There's no way you're just like, oh, Curry, good job, MVP.
LeBron should have not talked until the NBA Finals are started and finished.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if you really want to ignore or you want to shut somebody up, then beat him in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Huh.
But still, like, I'm just surprised that no one picked any other player but Curry.
Well, because Curry, they were talking about it on ESPN. I think I was watching it was one of the games. They said that Curry could have won the most improved player too. That's how good his season.
Yes, yeah.
He had like 400 threes. That's like insane.
Nah, I'd still stick with McCollum, but
Well, technically, because he is the most improved, but they said Curry could have won that award too because he
Yeah.
had that much of a better season than he did last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, what is LeBron crying about? To beat him in the finals, and then you'll shut everybody up.
Yeah,
Until
I
then, you
think.
should just like. Sometimes that's what I mean about LeBron. Remember our previous
Yeah.
podcast, the Killer Instinct? I
Yeah.
don't know. Sometimes I feel like he likes to just cry to the media or say some.
Well,
Throw
you
like
can-
little shade at somebody
He
here
throws
and there.
little
you know?
shade,
He
and
throws
then-
little.
and
Yeah,
then
but we
people
have-
kinda
He throws
speculate
shade
on
left
it.
and right at a lot of guys, just on the low too.
Well,
Just he'll sneak something
remember,
in, like, you know.
he shaded Raptors, right? He's like, oh yes, I would love to play Wade.
Yeah, he just jumped around like, oh.
He's like, forget the
who are
Raptors,
they?
and,
Like,
and that's what I
Right.
think that's what made them want to play. And then Dwayne Wade, I'm sorry, like shooting it during our anthem, I want to see, listen. And then his apology was, I mean, I wasn't trying to be rude, and if we knew who you know, and if you know me, like you would know my thoughts. But like, listen, bro, you're shooting you're making shots during an anthem. Any anthem, you can't be doing that stuff. It's just rude. It's disrespectful. So just say you're sorry and shut up. Don't try to make excuses as to why you did it. No one cares. Okay. So for like Wade, Wade, he pissed me off. So I'm happy. Like when they
never
lost
got fined
yesterday,
either, right?
huh?
He never got fined or anything like that.
Nothing. And I think,
I bet you if somebody did that, like if it was if Steve Nash did
Oh.
the American anthem, I think they'd probably.
yeah,
For
or
sure.
Wiggins, right? Wiggins
well,
right now, just-
remember in
Wiggins.
baseball that guy didn't I think something with the anthem and he got fined or got
Oh
suspended.
no, one guy in the NBA in '96.
Yeah,
Mahmoud
Abdul
Rauf.
Rauf,
Yeah, he sat
AKA
down.
formerly
and-
Chris Jackson.
Yeah, and he sat
Yeah.
down like during the American anthem because he's like, I don't support America,
Yeah.
or he changed from he changed
Yeah,
to
so-
Islam or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I didn't even know that. But you know what? If DeMar or Kyle was shooting shots during the American anthem,
Oh yeah,
it
you
would have
know.
been suspension. So it just told you the NBA is so biased towards their the All Stars and to
America.
America. You know what I
Don't care.
mean?
Nobody
Like,
cares about the Raptors.
oh yeah, no, like
The
today-
Raptors making the NBA comment was the worst thing the NBA could have.
Oh, I know.
Because you know how much money Dwayne and LeBron heads up would have been.
I agree. There was there's a huge disappointment, I think, with even on you can tell the major U.S. outlets, they're not only writing the Raptors off, but they're also like very on the low, disappointed the fact that it's not
Oh,
a
yeah.
Dwayne Wade, LeBron going back to Miami. And
Exactly.
I'll be honest with you, I could see the disappointment. It makes sense because if it wasn't the Raptors, I think LeBron going back to Miami does make for a great story.
Oh,
Of course. A
So
great
we
story.
have to see that, you know.
But the problem I think for a lot of Canadian fans is that we have the biggest fan base for most teams in the NBA. Like
Yeah,
we're
well-
always sold out. It's like games like the Jurassic Park. Like we bring them a lot of money. So for the NBA to not, but the funny thing is that they didn't show any Raptor playoff games at all until this Sunday. nationally in America. They only showed the game in a local market,
Oh, I didn't
but
know
not on a national. So the first national Raptors game was only shown on Sunday. The very
Well, these
first
ones will
one.
now be the national team.
Now they'll be, but before that, round 2 was not shown on a national
No.
basis. They don't care about us, right?
Toronto will never be cared about in the NBA.
Of course not.
They only need one team in Canada, but Vancouver, all this stuff. Bring back the Expos, please.
Which is actually on the table. Did you hear? They were actually, the commissioner was saying that. Now he's not saying he's coming back to Montreal, but on their what's on their radar, if they are thinking about expansion, Montreal surprisingly would be one of the teams that they could think of expanding
My
to.
favorite team before the Braves. I had to pick a team, and they went and moved to Washington. I was
That's
So
so
then why'd you go for
true.
Washington then?
Because I don't like Washington at all. I don't know. I just had to pick another team. And I was like, oh, you know what? I like Atlanta. But I liked Atlanta before even, when they had Maddox and Smoltz.
But I bet you didn't like Atlanta when they played the Jays though
What do you
in the
mean?
World Series.
Oh yeah, no, I was ride or die Atlanta back then. No, I wasn't cheering for the Jays. My mom will vouch for me. I was like 5 at the time, and I had a tomahawk. Remember those tomahawks that they used to carry around?
Yeah.
I had one at my house.
That explains it.
Yeah, I had one of the tomahawks. You know, so I'm not just jumping ship here, but I've always liked the Braves. But yeah, I want the Expos back. Although I don't probably won't ever happen. But
But like they were shut down because not enough money, right? There were.
Well, it's a timing thing. I think the Expos remind me a lot of the Vancouver Grizzlies. Vancouver Grizzlies closed for the same thing where it's like, economics and fan base and et cetera. But that's a different time. That's like 15, however long ago. If you gave Vancouver a NBA franchise now in 2016,
it'll be amazing. Yeah, it'll last now.
So I think the same thing with the Expos. I think it's just a timing thing. They had a footing, bad timing.
Yeah.
Things will turn around now. You put a team in Montreal right now, you never know. It could be like Vancouver out west.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But the market in Canada is kind of sus right now. Look at the hockey team.
Actually, even though the Raptors are in the finals or the Eastern Finals, they're saying that hockey still has more ratings.
Of course.
In the States.
No, in Canada.
In Canada for playoffs,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
They're saying that people are watching teams that aren't even Canadian in hockey than they're watching the Raptors.
Yep.
So, coaching. I want to keep an eye out for Patrick Ewing, the serial assistant coach, who never seems. You always hear on the low about Patrick Ewing interviewing somewhere. And usually when you hear, by the time it surfaces to the media that someone's interviewed somewhere, there's usually some kind of traction happening there. I can't remember the teams, maybe about 4 or 5 times where I've heard over like the last maybe 3 or 4 years, Patrick Ewing is interviewing for
Orlando or Philly.
Yeah. And nothing happens. Just last week, I heard again, Patrick Ewing's interviewing somewhere. It kind of makes me think, okay, so Ewing's a big man.
He's a big man coach.
I think
that's why he's probably not getting a job.
He's typecasted. And I think so. Like, if you think of even big, like 7-foot coaches, how many you can go like?
None of them. All media coaches are guard-oriented.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because of the fact that it's like, there's this mentality of guards being
Run the team.
and being
run
smart.
Mm-hmm.
But, Kevin McHale, he's a powerful. He's big. He's got to be close to 7 foot. He's a big man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He coached.
But even he's like giving the ball to James Harden.
Okay, well, he's still
I'm
coach's
just
thing.
saying, like, he's a big guy, but
Okay.
he's still a guard.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah, he's tough.
Kobe.
Okay, but is his coaching ability in question, or his mentality in question?
I don't rate Phil Jackson. I'll never rate Phil Jackson.
Regardless, I'm just saying, you have coaches that.
He's not a great coach.
Okay, whatever. You can be 7 foot and still
Be able to coach a team properly.
be able to coach a team.
Yes.
So
But that's not the issue. Patrick Ewing would give the ball to DeMarcus Cousins 500 times a game.
I
How
don't
do
think
you know?
so. I
See,
don't think he would.
it's
I think
almost
as
a
a
thing-
coach, I think if we're going to coach a team, I think you have assistant coaches and people who are giving you play. Like, I don't think he'll be by himself. Like, head coaches are the face of the coaching staff. But they
Right.
have a lot of people working under them around the clock, giving them ideas, plays. I don't think he'd be bad at the job.
I don't. Yeah, I think Ewing. Actually, I don't know. I really don't know mentally. Like, it's like, for instance, Luke Walton got a job, and some people they kind of have this. We're assuming Luke Walton is like a smart guy. We're assuming. I mean, the fact that he used to play at LA, etc. I just think there's people who kind of get this peg of like being cerebral. And unfortunately for Ewing, I think he's kind of pigeonholed into not being a cerebral dude when he very well could be. Like, being a big man, you have the ball fed to you.
Yeah, but he's an assistant coach.
There's a lot of assistant coaches out there. You know, like, and
There's a reason why he's not getting a job, because people think.
You never know.
Right.
When you go into your interview, they ask you, what's your offensive plan? So he's probably saying, feed the post, give it to this guy down low. And people don't want to hear that because big men are becoming more and more irrelevant in the NBA day by day.
Yes.
It's all guards. Look at the Heat lineup yesterday against the Raptors. Who was their center?
Yeah.
It was like Justice Winslow was playing center for he was boxing out Biombo half the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do we even need 7-footers anymore? Like, you have Cousins, Whiteside, Dwight Howard's on his way down, but other than that, who else? I can't. Valanciunas. Who else? I can't even think of a legit 7-footer that's even relevant.
Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert. Okay, he's okay. He's solid right now. That's 4 out of 30 NBA teams.
Oh, Drummond. Like, we
Drummond,
can
fine.
go through a long list of centers.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm saying you don't have to be 7 feet anymore.
Oh.
Like, big men don't.
Well, the game has
lineups
changed.
are getting smaller.
The game has
and smaller.
changed. The basketball,
You got LeBron playing power forward now. You got Winslow is playing power forward in the center yesterday. It was just even Biombo's 6'9".
yeah.
He's not like a legit
Yeah.
7 feet. So
I don't know.
he's saying something in these interviews. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way he doesn't get a job after 13 years of being an assistant coach. There's something wrong that people are saying.
But we don't know if he was offered a job and he said no because he didn't believe in the team.
That's not happening.
No,
If he's going in, he wants a job. He did turn down a job to take their D League team. Is it Westchester?
The
Knicks. Yeah, he turned that down. But you'd figure he would want to at least show his experience. That would have been a good idea for him to get some.
He could have proven himself in the D League and then come
but he'll
up
make
in
more money
NBA.
as an assistant in the NBA.
That's the thing. You
Of
always have to
course.
sometimes take a step back, take a step forward.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if he's went to 3 or 4 jobs and people are looking at him like, Patrick,
What
we
if he
don't.
struggled at Westchester?
Well, then at least we know that he's not ready
But
for
then he
that.
might not have a job in the NBA anymore.
Well,
That's a risk I wouldn't want to take if I were a coach.
yeah.
Would you, if you were offered if say you were an assistant for 12 years, and they said, hey, Prez, go coach the 905 team. You do it?
And I wanted to be a head coach.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Really, you're really risking your future.
Well, that would,
that's
but I
fine.
would have to have a lot of confidence in myself to know my ability if I could do it. I wouldn't take it if I knew I couldn't do it, right? And if I know that if I'm aspiring to be a head coach, that means I feel confident in my ability to do it.
Ewing's an NBA guy. He's not.
No, true.
He
thoughts-
has egos. He's an NBA guy. He's got an ego.
Yeah, well,
I'm in the NBA. I've been in the NBA. Why would I want to go to the D League?
Yeah, Tim is a step down. But, yeah, clearly Ewing is not qualified for this role.
Yeah.
He's not qualified.
She's saying something wrong in the interview.
Something
There's no
is not
way
clicking. Yeah,
something's going on.
Yeah.
So
Well, thoughts and prayers out to Patrick Ewing. Hopefully, you can close the deal this time.
yeah.
good luck, bro.
Good luck, bro.
And Chris Bosh. One more side note. I just read an article. He might never play again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think what he
Career
has
might
is
be
uncurable.
All finished.
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
of, all the flying and all the clots in his lungs and everything else. So
Bosh might not play.
they're saying it's
Yeah, the doctors are saying
careers.
the doctors were saying that they can't see how they can clear him to play
Yeah.
ever.
Ever, because you're going to be flying again. And the clots are just. That's how you get blood clots in the first place. You fly too much.
When you fly too much, especially if you have a
you're still on the
condition.
plane. You're sitting there like this. And
I
you're
understand.
sleeping. You're like,
I understand, but I can't remember who it was. There was a player. I wish I can draw this right now.
You don't even need a
that-
player. I can go to a singer, Nick Cannon. Remember him? Same
Yeah.
thing. He flying too much. He had clots.
There's somebody that maybe it might be a rapper. It might even be maybe.
It was Nick Cannon.
There's somebody who's afraid of flying and they bust everywhere.
Oh yes,
I
there's
can't remember,
someone.
but
No, a singer.
I'm thinking, yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah,
I know there's a
there's-
soccer player that used to Dennis Bergkamp. Remember him?
Yeah.
He would like drive all around Europe. He wouldn't even ever fly.
But okay, so the solution with Bosch that actually can maybe help his career. He doesn't fly. He only plays home games in Miami. There's what 41 games,
in the playoffs.
But I think
41
it's-
games, and
You can fly maybe in the playoffs.
And
But
then-
I think it's more
I'm
to
not paying you guys
condition
to
than
play
just
half the
flying.
season.
I think because of the flying, it's so severe
Yeah.
his clotting issue that even if he plays a game,
Hmm.
like it can affect. Like it's I think because they're saying that even for a home game they can't clear him for any games.
like he's
doctors.
Like,
Yeah, like they
wow,
can't, so
that's
it's-
such a shame. You know what? I'll be honest. So Chris Bosch, when we drafted him, I was not a big Chris Bosch fan. People know me, know that. For years I dogged Bosch. Actually, at the time, I was hoping we got Dwayne Wade out of Marquette, and that ended up being. And I learned to live with it and say, okay, Bosch is our dude. He was out for a while as a Raptor, and I was like, okay, you know what? I actually understood his value when he wasn't there. So when he came back, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done dogging him. Then the whole, the big three thing. He went to Miami. I wasn't down with that movement. I really feel for Chris Bosch because
32.
he's still in prime years right now. And to think that in his prime he can't play, it's like
Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy, that's exactly what I was thinking. Brandon Roy, but this might be a little different situation. But just like you have great years ahead of you,
Yeah.
and it's not out of your will. It's a shame. So, it's a shame for Chris Bosch.
They're saying the blood clots are very extreme, and doctors can't see clearing him to play at all. But they're saying by February of 2017,
Yeah.
if by then he hasn't played,
Uh-huh.
they can do a case and figure out what they're gonna do, and they can actually retract his contract because I think his contract for
he
75
got
million, right? He got a lot of
paid.
money. Remember that?
Cha-ching.
So by next year February, if he doesn't play the game by next year February 2017, yeah, he's done.
Well, you know what?
So hopefully the next year, if he doesn't travel or doesn't go on any planes, but it's so hard. Like that sucks, man. Like I feel bad for him.
Yeah.